Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of mine, and today I want to talk about something that happened on one of the little shorts I have uploaded. One of the first ones actually, where I said that a guy with long stupid hair pulled out a firearm on me. I know most of you have already seen that. It's like one of my most viewed videos right now, and I actually wanted to talk about that, how that guy that pulled the firearm and took off in his buddy took off in his own vehicle. What's it called? Oh, somebody's pulling up, I see. I felt really bad because I told my boss that I was worried and concerned about working here because I kept seeing that guy come back. And my boss, he right away asked me, he was like, Carlos, he's like, last I spoke to the Cicero police, he was like, they said that man's in jail. I was like, no, he's not. And I was like, he's been coming back. And I was like, and I've been seeing him for about a month or two. And that's when my boss decided to take action again, because the thing is, I have in the video where I got the guy's license plate, but they ended up arresting the wrong guy, not the actual guy with long hair that took the alcohol and pulled out the weapon. They ended up arresting his buddy that was driving. That was the driver, I mean, yeah. But I didn't know that because when I went to court with that guy, I had to talk to the state attorney, and she asked me a million questions, of course, like how she's supposed to. And in one of the parts of the interview, when I told her that, because she even said, she was like, this is an interview. She was like, you better not lie. And she was like, and you better be telling the truth. And she even asked me, did any police officers here make you lie to me or say anything to me? And I was like, no. She's like, you're speaking out of your own free will. And that's when she asked me and said, she was like, there's something you're not telling me. And I told her, I'm like, I have reason to believe that they jailed the wrong man. She's like, I know. She was like, I know. So she didn't really exactly 100% confirm that, but she just kept saying I know because she was trying to get me to admit something else. And ever since then, when I had the interview with the state attorney, that's when I saw this guy disappear here. That's when I stopped seeing him buy stuff here. And the thing is, he did actually have that firearm. Like, he did show it to me. He didn't, like, he literally, like, pulled it out. And he literally pointed it to me, but for some reason, hold on, let me finish putting this away. For some reason, when the police asked me that the day of the interview, they even said, they were like, the cameras sadly were a little blurry that day. Or yeah, they were like, we couldn't really see the firearm. And I was like, oh my God. What was I gonna say? Something that's a little fishy, and I don't know, I just think this is fishy because, like I said, I stopped seeing that guy come by here. But then one time when I was working in the afternoon on a Saturday, I actually saw him here with like this is when it was like in the summertime too, like when it was the beginning of summer. He was wearing like a thin jacket and like a hat, and he was trying to like hide his identity. And he looked at me right in the eye and was like, what's up, bro? And him and his friend, I know that they know we don't sell jalapenos here. They were just acting dumb walking around there. They were in this aisle right there. They were like, no jalapenos. They were like, no jalapenos. And they were like, all right, let's go then. I know they knew we don't sell jalapenos. They were acting dumb because they knew they weren't supposed to be around here. The state attorney told me in the interview that that man wasn't allowed to be here anymore. And that guy actually worked at a Target. I'm pretty sure he still does. Alright, let me go get the Dr. Pepper for this order and finish putting these brownies away. Sorry, I thought somebody pulled up. I saw somebody drive by. I guess not. Earlier it was really busy. I actually got hit with 3 orders. One was actually my name, under the name Carlos. And oh my God, they all had 11 or 9 items. And they all had food too. And one of the most annoying parts about this job is how the drivers arrive here. Like, I'm not even kidding. They arrive here seconds after they place the order. Like, not minutes. They arrive here seconds. Some longest is 1 or 2 minutes after the order has been placed. Because there are times where we hear the order thing go off and the driver will be standing right here and they'll right away be like, oh, I have another one. And like, they give you literally no time to get the stuff for the order, despite the scanner having a timer there. But I haven't seen this guy since then that I said worked at Target. But if I'm being honest, at the time it was one of the scariest shifts for me. But now that what was even scarier is when he kept coming back. I thought the police just didn't care. But no, the police just didn't know that he was still around here. And the police even told me, they were like, when he showed you they were like, when he lifted his shirt up, they were like, how was his firearm? And I told them, I was like, well, everybody knows how a firearm goes right here and how the handle's supposed to be pointing that way. I told him how the handle was pointing this way. And the officer right away said, so he had it pointing like if he was going to grab it with his left. And he was like, nobody grabs a firearm with their left. That's when I was like, you see? I'm like, he didn't even know how to hold a firearm. And I'm 99.99% sure that it was from the street. Oh yeah, there goes another order. But I'm just glad this man is no longer around here, because he was one of my favorite regulars too. I really like this guy. I would always say hi to him every single day. And I was just really confused about why all of a sudden he grabbed alcohol and was like, hey, he's like, can I take these? He's like, can I get them right now? He was being a complete asshole, saying, you better let me get them. I completely forgot I have a Dr. Pepper for that first order. And this is exactly why I tell all employees here that they just can't trust anyone. I try to tell them, if somebody's being friendly, take that as a red flag, because that's how a lot of them try to distract us, by being all friendly with us, pretending to be our buddy. Matter of fact, one of my favorite regulars that's around my age, I think he's like a year. Oh shoot, I think he's a year older than me. Give me one sec, hold on. Goddamn camera. Sorry about that. I ended up getting some of the Dr. Pepper on the camera by accident when I was filling it up, and then when I wiped it off, I accidentally spilled like half of it, so I had to refill it again. Oh my god. And then I just see like a Dr. Pepper drop leaking down. And I was like, no. Oh, I thought somebody walked in right now. Thought I heard the door moving. Okay, this goes to that. Sorry, I don't want to get myself confused. In order for Lewis. Order for Giovanni. But like I was saying earlier, I try to tell all the employees to not trust anyone, and that if anybody's being friendly with them, to take that as a red flag. Because like I had tried saying earlier, there was a time where one of my favorite regulars that's around my age, I told him how I literally like try to keep an eye out for anybody stealing so I can record them. I mean, go after them and report them. And that's when he literally was being honest and said, I'm not gonna lie. He's like, when I was younger, like in high school, he was like, me and my boys used to do that all the time. And he literally said, he's like, one of us would distract the cashier and ask him stupid questions while the rest of us would stuff a bunch of things in our bags. And I was like, yeah, I was like, no doubt that some people have actually done that to me here. Because people have asked me the dumbest questions here. And people have all... Hello. Are you picking up an order? What name? Alrighty. Sorry about that. I was handing out the order of Lewis to the lady. But yeah, one of my favorite regulars that said him and his boys used to steal. Oh my god. You know, at the time, I used to actually work at Goodwill when I was in high school. And then one of our favorite regulars that was like he was literally there like the entire day, like from morning to night. And he was telling me a story how a couple of years back before I worked at that Goodwill that there was a white guy stealing some DVDs, and he even said he was very good and quick at it. He's like, he even had me fooled. What the Goodwill regular said, the Goodwill regular was like, he had everybody fooled. And he said that he all of a sudden saw him trying to put more DVDs in his jacket, and that he was like, hey, he's like, I just seen that. He's like, put them back. And that the customer just told the Goodwill regular, like, hey, it's like, mind your own damn business, blah, blah, blah. And then he eventually was like, hey, it's like you guys got security, but that the regular felt disappointed when somebody's like, no, we don't have security. And then he was like, well, call somebody over. He's like, this guy's trying to steal these DVDs. And the regular said that he successfully got the guy to put the DVDs back and get banned. There was a lot of stupid things that people would steal at 7-Eleven. I still have one of them in my Snapchat memories where an LP officer was after quarantine at Goodwill, they started sending in an LP officer to spy on people if they were stealing. They would wear a certain disguise and they would send different people like every month. And then they would literally catch people in the act if they were stuffing things in their bags or if they were price switching. And yeah, and there was a lot of stupid things that people would do. They would price switch something that literally was like $1.99 to a 50-cent tag. That's another thing. People got really mad when Goodwill got rid of 50-cent tags. Nothing was going to be 50 cents anymore. Sometimes I miss Goodwill, but sometimes I don't, because the way people were treated there, like, not just by customers, but by management. Management would straight up take advantage of the employees. And I don't mean it in a rude way, like, they would be a little too strict about the worst kinds of situations. Like, I remember there was a time where management constantly told me to stop talking to my co-workers, and yet they got mad because I would actually like finish all my work. But other people that were actually screwing around, not doing anything, it really made me mad at that management. Didn't even notice those co-workers because they were too busy keeping an eye on the harder working people like me. A little bit after quarantine, I remember they had to get one employee to do basically nothing all day. They would just stand by the door, like holding like a thing where they would count how many people would walk in and how many people would walk out. Because I know after quarantine there was like a rule where you could only have a certain amount of people in each building, and in our building at the time it was 80, and they couldn't go past the number 80. Like no more than 80 people could be in the store of Goodwill. And that one guy that was doing absolutely nothing, they told him, they were like, when you see that there's nobody in the store, they're like, try to organize books and DVDs and CDs, alright? But of course, he did absolutely nothing. And then they even said, they were like, as the greeter, though, you also have to try to sweep up the front area, like the front part of the store. Why was I gonna throw that away? And of course, this guy did absolutely nothing, but yet they were keeping an eye on me the whole day that day. And I remember I even told the manager, I was there like, hey, and I'm like, DVDs and books and movies and CDs are a mess. And that's when she's like, that was this guy's job. And they really didn't even bother to say something to him the day after, because if that would have been me, they would have been like, yeah, you left that day, leaving a big mess. They're like, you can't be doing that. But I mean, like, who am I kidding? That's any company or any place, any job or company where they literally keep an eye on other people, but they don't keep an eye on actually lazy people. Alright, hold on, give me 1 sec. Sorry about that, I was busy doing something. But yeah, enough of that Goodwill blabber. I'm glad I don't work there anymore. One of my favorite regulars that comes here to 7-Eleven to this day still, me and him actually worked together at Goodwill. And it's funny because he literally worked there for like about 2 or 3 weeks, and he immediately started talking about how he didn't like it because of the way he was treated and how he was being forced to do things that he didn't even apply to do or whatever. And when he quit, he literally put on his Facebook bio, ex-Goodwill employee, 4 out of 10 don't work there. And honestly, like, I don't blame him, because that's literally how I felt about my job at Goodwill when I first started there too. Like, the way I was being treated, the things they made me do, the way how they would raise their voice at everybody. And then customers too, harassing us more. But my point is, yeah, I didn't blame my boy Caesar, that's his name. I didn't blame my boy Caesar for leaving Goodwill and putting that on his bio. And then I brought this up to him when I saw him here for the first time. I told him how when he quit Goodwill, if he remembered that, he took his work shirt off and he actually put like, he wrapped it around his head like how a nun wraps the white piece around their head. Like how they put that thing around their head, yeah. That's how Caesar wrapped his work shirt around his head. And of course, the manager was like, Caesar, your shirt has to be on the right way. I don't even know why I worked there in the first place. Ever since I started working here, another guy I worked with at Goodwill told me, when he saw me here, he was like, do you like this job better or the job at Goodwill better? And I told him, like, does Goodwill sorry, my bad. I didn't even know what I was going to say, but I told him out loud, because we were right here in the fountain machine area getting something to drink. When he asked me, he's like, did you like this job better or the one at Goodwill? And I asked him out loud, I was like, did Goodwill let us get free sodas like how 7-Eleven does? I always give my friend Gabriel a free soda, since us employees can get them for free without any charges, yeah. I give a lot of my favorite customers and friends some free soda or anything free to drink, as long as it's from the fountain machine, because us employees won't have to pay for them. And I never even grab a lid. Damn, that's good. A guy came in earlier saying that he was doing Uber orders and that he had been awake for a little over 24 hours. And he even told me, he was like, sorry, he's like, I'm very sleepy right now. He asked me to make him some coffee. And I felt really bad after he said I've been up for 24 hours. Because I could see it in his eyes. His eyes were all red. He looked very exhausted, like he just wanted to pass out somewhere. Honestly, this coming from someone that works overnight like me, I don't know how people do it like that, where they're awake for more than 24 hours. When I work overnight, I'm not always at work for over 24 hours, and even when I am, I try drinking Red Bull or something, but them that they're driving, doing orders, I would get very sleepy just knowing I'm sitting. When I get sleepy, I have to get up and speed walk or run around or something. Stay awake. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm getting. When I used to get sleepy, when I first started working here, and I would doze off, I would just sit on the crates and literally like actually doze off a little until somebody would walk in and make me get up to do something. But nah, I don't do that anymore now. Whenever I feel sleepy, I just try doing something. I just try scrubbing something or cleaning something back here. Oh, shoot. Nothing else has been going on here lately. Now, what did you all think about the fight between Canelo versus Crawford? The day that I was actually working here that day. And our security that we have here, he is white and Mexican, and our boss is also white, and he asked me in a loud, kind of aggressive way, with me thinking he was trying to argue like how he always does. He asked me in a kind of aggressive way, he's like, why is AJ going for Crawford? And he yelled out and said, he's not even black. Every customer here was laughing when the boss asked them. But I mean, like, you can't blame... Oh shit, there's an order. You can't blame AJ, like, he was right. He literally said, I think Crawford is gonna win. I was very disappointed because I really wanted Canelo to win. I was, like... At the same time, I did not know because I kind of thought Canelo was going to win, but my anxiety was telling me that Crawford was going to win. So I pretty much knew that Crawford was gonna win. I kept telling everybody that too when I was working with my coworker. How many of these? Code Red. The boss, Jeff, finally got Minute Maid lemonade. I love this lemonade. This lemonade and the Calypso one are the best. I always drink these lemonades when I'm here because these are normally the only ones we have. The 7 Select lemonade or the Simply one or the Tropicana one, but out of all these garbage tasting lemonades, I only like the Minute Maid one and the Calypso one. We don't have it, but if any of you know which one the Calypso one is, the one that's in like a glass bottle, that one is also pretty good. Brisk strawberry melon. Okay, now look, I used to always wonder, and this because this bothers me and annoys me so much, how the heck do they get Brisk and Gatorade under there? I used to wonder, how does it even fit through there? Because I've done that too, where I drop one and it falls through there. But then I was like, how does a Brisk fit through there? And that's when I'm like, oh, because they drop it through the bag and it rolls underneath. And of course, they don't even bother to try getting it. Now I forgot they wanted a pineapple Slurpee. Just go and get that. I honestly don't like any of these Slurpees because I already know there's just a lot of sugar. But I know kids, they love these Slurpees. Give me one sec, please. Sorry about that, I was filling up the pineapple Slurpee. I already have it now. Alright, now here's another issue that me and the employees always fight about. Me and other employees, because I know I'm an employee too. Me and other employees always argue and say that when we have an order too big where everything almost doesn't fit, that we have to get another bag, which I agree. They, however, they try to cram everything in. Look, let me cram everything in one bag and show you why that's not good. There's still one more thing, Gatorade Electric Flash. Let me get it. Because me and all employees and the security AJ, that he's not even an employee here technically, we always argue about that, where he's like, no, some people are like, just put it in one bag, and I'm like, no, I'm like, that's how it rips. And then the drivers come back saying it's our fault. It's happened to me way too many times, but they haven't been here as long as I have, so they don't know that. Yes, I know. I've only been here for a little over 2 years. What do I know? Yeah, that's literally how they would hand the order to the driver, and I'm like, no. I'm like, it's gonna rip like that, trust me. These paper bags are only so strong. If it was plastic bags, then yeah, it'd be okay. Even AJ says that we just waste bags like that. And I tell him that there are always those drivers that say like, oh, can you double bag it? I'm like, why would we double bag? It's like, and I even tell them like, how does it even fit? But they're like, it fits. They're like, try. And I'm like, it barely fits. Like, it just makes one bag rip. And I tell them if we're gonna double bag it, then we're using those, the plastic ones, because there's no way we're gonna be double bagging using these useless paper bags. I think somebody's here also. Yeah, somebody's here. Is this Shaggy? What the fuck are you doing here, man? I didn't think you'd be. Alrighty, sorry about that, everybody. One of my boys that has came out in another video has actually walked in. We had a long conversation, but I don't at all even remember what I was talking about now. But while he was here, I got hit with 3 different orders, all at the same time. Yeah, no, Shaggy just ended up buying a couple of things. And we obviously were talking about the next time we hang out. Whatever. Oh my god, I'm so annoyed right now. Well, I'm just trying to talk to my buddy. I get hit with 3 orders. 3 of them. Now where? Oh, there they are. There they are. Slim Jim Monster, okay. I'm surprised nobody has came in yet other than Shaggy, because it usually gets way busier than this. Come on. Get it. I think somebody just pulled up. If I'm mistaken, I don't know. They did pull up. They're here for an order. No, I don't think there's anybody outside. Oh, boy. Hello. Are you picking up an order? Alright, now I can finally continue. I've just been trying to put everything away, but I keep... Ever since Shaggy left, I've been getting more customers now. Well, one of them wasn't even a customer. Well, I guess he technically was, but he was here for an order. Ah, too much chips right now. Come on. Alright, finally done with this one. Alright, I should probably put these away. I don't know why I didn't put these away first. The boss gets mad at me when I don't put these away first. You know, I don't understand why I get that it's food that needs to be refrigerated. But like he's always like getting mad when we don't put it away first when I'm like, it's only been out here for, give me one second. It's this one, right? Jose?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
And all kind of dumbass shit like that. Them kids seeing all that shit. That's stupid.
Thank you so much, Ray. You have a good one. Hello, you're picking up an order too?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I was handing out some of the orders. That one's gone. Wait. Oh, okay, yeah. They're all gone. Almost done with everything. Give me one sec. I need both my hands to put these crates away. Sorry about that. I had to put I had to put all the milk away. Why is this still out here if I'm done using it? Is somebody... Oh yeah, somebody else here. Hello.